tight down there, but I thought yesterday was one of our more spirited practices. It was, especially coming off of a 4-day break, which is what they had. Usually that practice, at least throughout my history in coaching in the NFL, it's always kind of get it going. But they came out, I thought it was very energetic and a very productive practice.
Robert, now you've seen OTAs and Monday minicamp. This is the last time we talked to you before training camp. Do you feel like this team has improved this offseason?
Yeah, a lot of new faces, offensively especially, and with new coaches, new players. So, I do think it's improved a lot. You look at from an offensive standpoint, the communication, the recall from a year ago with regard to the scheme. So guys are more, how do I explain it? Last year was a lot of mistakes were being made because you're learning a new system. This year there's a lot more communication, a lot more fixing on the fly, players communicating with players like we've talked about. So in that regard, I think from an offensive standpoint, playing a lot faster, much more decisive. We're in and out of the huddle. The operation is a lot cleaner. The route running is a lot crisper. The O-line blocking schemes are more defined. It's been fun to watch and to go through. So that is much improved. And defensively, obviously, their continued growth with regard to communication and speed and just trying to find new ways to create issues for offenses.
With it being the last day, just kind of what is your message for the team heading into the play?
We've talked about it before. We've always called the next part. So after this is phase me. You got phase 1, 2, 3, and now phase me, and it's the 40 days off, and it's a great opportunity for the individual player to be selfish to himself. It's a great opportunity to create separation on their competition with the way they approach the off season. You can go to the beach and party and drink, or you can hit the gym and hydrate. There's different things. There's different ways everyone approaches these next 40 days, and you can gain ground on your competition. You can separate from your competition, or you can lose your entire 24 season with the way you approach these next 40. So the message is to be deliberate and to attack this thing and to put yourself in position to be great in 24.
There was a lot of craziness that came off of Aaron's absence yesterday, as expected. Did you have any contact with him? Like talk to him after between yesterday and today?
No, I haven't.
Robert, you said that you were aware that Aaron was not going to be here before yesterday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And Tyrod said he had only found out that morning. Is there any reason that wasn't communicated to him before? Or?
No, it's a one-on-one conversation. It's not something that the team needed to know about.
I think you're getting some blowback from media people about the use of the word unexcused, and because you were okay with him not being here, but you used the word unexcused. So I'm wondering maybe if you could clarify why you used that word. And also, did you tell did Aaron know he was going to be termed unexcused, and how he reacted to that?
No, you're fine. Talked about it yesterday, but Aaron and I are on the exact same page. There's no issue between Aaron or his teammates, for that matter. So, like I said, we addressed it yesterday. It's more of an issue for everyone outside the building than it is inside, and that's about it.
What's your overall take on the morale, the vibe, the energy going into the season? Even though you're just looking at OTAs and now the mini camp, but what do you see in your ball club in that regard?
I see a lot of excitement. Like I said, yesterday was an extremely spirited practice. I know our group's confident. It's a very confident group, and I think everyone's chomping at the bit to do what we were supposed to do in 23.
Can you give us a progress report on Olu and just in terms of how he's come along? Obviously, offensive lineman without pads is not ideal for evaluating, but just maybe some areas of strength, some areas he needs to work on.
Great mover. Everything that we saw from a draft from the evaluation standpoint in the draft is true to form. Great young man. He's soaking it up. We've in our team meeting today, he was highlighted with regard to this, because you can't have the physicality, but you can see with regard to intent and technique and all that stuff, and things that he was trying to do in week 1 compared to what it looks like now after seeing Tyron do it and the experience he has in that room, and he's deliberate in the way he approaches the game, and he's always going to have things he has to work on. But I'm really looking forward to him getting out there in training camp with pads on to see it all come to fruition.
Will he work exclusively at left tackle in training camp?
As of now, that's the plan.
Or how has Alan Lazard's spring been? Obviously, he had a tough first year here.
Yeah, I feel like Alan's come in with a renewed mindset. I've said it up here before. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time that a free agent who gets a big contract and goes to another team with expectations, new city, new teammates, new players, kind of falters a little bit, and then you dig yourself into a hole, and it's just really hard to get out of. I think he's attacked the heck out of the offseason. He's showed up in tremendous shape. He's like a second coach on the field in that receiver room. He's been awesome, and so grateful that he's here, and I'm really looking forward to him also. I think he's going to have a really nice bounce back year.
What gives you that confidence that he is going to have a bounce back year?
Like I told you, his intent is different this year. His focus is different. Like I said, he doesn't have nearly the distractions. Everything's more normal. It's a second year. The area's the same to him, but the work, the intent, the focus is all renewed. And I think he's just, like I said, he's just got a renewed focus.
Robert, I think when people look at the defense, they kind of automatically assume you pick up from where you left off last year, right? And you guys have been top 5 last 2 years. How difficult, I think we've talked to you a lot about building things here, but how difficult is it to kind of maintain that level defensively this year?
It's always from year to year, trying to maintain it all. But, we love our group. It's going into year 4 now. A lot of the guys are the same. Obviously, we've got a bunch of new interior guys. Safety group is going to be pretty new with the exception of TA and Ashen. Obviously, Chuck was here a year ago, but he didn't get any playing time. But it's an experienced group. But the thing that gives us confidence in that group is the way they approach every single day, whether it's in meetings, whether it's in practice. The way they communicate with one another, their love of football. Is it difficult? It's always difficult, but got a lot of faith in them.
From a scheme perspective, which you've been working and towards for a long time, how much do you and Rick tinker?
Oh, we tinker every year. Every year you're trying to add 1 or 2 wrinkles that can keep your system strong. And so obviously we're working on a couple of things. We're trying some stuff here in minicamp to see if it can stick. So we've been trying things throughout the entire off season. We do it every year, and the stuff that sticks will stick, and the stuff that doesn't will, but kind of go off to the wayside.
Has Will McDonald bulked up at all?
He's gotten stronger. It may not look like he is a slight frame. It's just that's his makeup. But you can see his strength. Now again, we can't see all the physicality because of it's a little bit more tempered. So but with regard to Will, I think he's put in a good off season. These next 40 days are big for him, and we'll see when pads come on.
And Robert, with big expectations, do you feel the pressure? And if so, do you embrace it?
Pressure is in what, winning? Well, there's always that pressure. I've said it before. It doesn't matter if you're an expansion team or a team that's expected to win a Super Bowl in this market. You're expected to win regardless. And but it's our lives, man. It's what we get paid to do. Pressure is it's what makes it fun. So.
Mike Williams, where is he physically now?
He's doing a great job. I think I don't want to put a timeline on him, but I think he's kind of pacing what Brees had a year ago. He looks good. He's a big man, but he's come along pretty good.
What will he do for Garrett and the receivers when he's able to go full and everything else?
I think he'll do wonders. I think for all of them. Even for Brees. 1, Garrett not getting double teamed. 2. With the combination of our skill guys and Aaron, you'd like to think you'd see more two high, which will open up some in the run game. So it's the faster he gets to full speed, I think it's just going to be more troublesome for defenses to pinpoint who they want to stop.
What about for Garrett? Like, he's had a lot of quarterbacks in 2 years. Like, if he has a healthy Aaron for this year, like, what do you expect from Garrett? Is the sky the limit for that guy?
For Garrett, what's been great is year 3. So, a lot of times, and I've talked about this in length, like rookies are just kind of running on gas. They have no idea what the heck's going on. They're just playing off pure athleticism. The second year, you kind of get bogged down by newfound fame, money, a lot of distractions off the field, along with thinking that you know more about the offense, or more about football than you do. And so it leads to either slumps, as you know, the sophomore slump, or just frustration or whatever it might be. Garrett kind of weathered that storm and still had a heck of a year despite all the adversity that the team faced. Going to this third year, and I'll speak for him, Jermaine, Sauce, Brees, like their focus, their mindset, their leadership, all of it has elevated because they've got control over the things outside of football, and so they're focusing more on football, and they know how to balance life. And I think if Garrett stays on this path, I'll never put stats on it, but you're right, the sky's the limit for him, and what he's capable of doing. I mean, he's an elite receiver, and excited to see him work.
Couple more. Robert, what are players allowed to do in the building during the gap? Are they allowed to work out in the weight room? Can they go to the cafeteria? What are the rules if guys are local and they want to work out here?
They have free reign of the building. Only thing we can't do is coach them.
Do they get fed? I mean,
Oh, yeah, they get.
I mean, I don't know if
No, that's a fair question. No. So, that's one of the cool things. With regard, that's one of the cool things with Mr. Johnson, Woody. He still provides breakfast and lunch for the entire organization every day, and the players come in, they work out, and they have free reign of the facility and free reign of whatever's being served in the cafeteria.
On your own for dinner, though?
I believe so.
Thanks.
Robert, can I just ask you about Leonard Taylor, the undrafted free
Yep.
agent out of Miami? Everybody wanted him out of high school, 5-star, Georgia, Alabama, went to Miami. Obviously, one of your better undrafted free agents. What might have happened in Miami that didn't work out, and what do you see from his skill set?
Can't speak for Miami in terms of what happened over there and how he became an undrafted free agent. But like all rookies coming in, they just got to learn how to play to at least speaking for us, to our standard and what we want. And he is not going to have a talent issue. And I'm not saying that he's a lazy guy or anything, but they just have to learn how the intent, the regard for their teammate, and the strain that we ask these guys to play with, especially along the defensive line. If he can capture that and make that part of his DNA, I think he's going to have a really long career.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Cosman is champion.